Excuse me. Mission control. Astronaut Mickey Way reporting in. The moon's looking good. Lots of sand, lots of rocks, moon dust everywhere. Everything looks just, Whoa. Mission control. I think I have discovered a Martian. Mission control, I think I've discovered Martians. No. I think I've discovered moonians. What are you doing on the moon?
Oh my goodness.
What are you doing on the moon, Emma? I am space mechanic. I am space mechanic Mickey Way.
Mickey Way.
Future former space mechanic Mickey Way.
How do you be a future former space mechanic?
I am the future captain of the space fleet, Mickey Way, who's now a space mechanic. Soon not to be.
So a future
former space mechanic, Mickey Way.
Captain Mickey
Way.
What are you doing there on the moon?
Well, space rocks and everything, exploring, and I'm kind of wondering what you're doing on the moon too. But
I'm here with all these friends. We're not Martians. We're Moonians.
You look like Moonians to me.
We came from Earth.
Okay, Earth.
We came right from Earth. And
I did too.
We're here all week learning how to shine Jesus' light.
How to shine Jesus' light. Interesting.
How'd you get here?
Well,
is anybody with you? Or?
Let me just tell you. Got to turn that off. I've only been here 3 hours, and it's 3 hours away from all my family and all my friends and everybody I know, and I've got no one to talk to till now. I've been lonely. It's lonely being a future former space mechanic on the moon. I'm just lonesome. That's how I'm doing.
When you're lonesome, sometimes life feels a little bit dark, but you're lucky because my friends and I were just
Shine Jesus light.
Yes.
When life is dark, when I'm feeling lonely, I can just
And things feel a little dark.
shine Jesus light.
Yes.
Okay.
Shine Jesus light. And our Bible verse today is, Jesus said, I am the light of the world.
Oh.
He's the light of the world, and we can reflect his light and shine it back.
And that means
What we're doing. We're going
you're
to
doing
shine
that.
Jesus light.
Is that something I can do too, even as a future former space mechanic searching around rocks and dust and stuff?
I think so. Can Mickey Way can he shine Jesus light too?
I'll shine Jesus light. Well, I've got to get back to my work. Mission Control coming back. I don't know what these people are doing here, but they shine in Jesus light. But
Mickey, when life feels dark,
shine Jesus light. I'll be back. I'll see you again. Take care. Mission Control, still lots of dust. Bye-bye. Bye. Lots of rocks. Lots of craters.
each day through Vacation Bible Camp, we explored through Skip, Mickey Way, we explored through science and story time to all of our Bible verses and our Bible points for the day. And on day 2, I gotta get this. We learned that when people don't get along, and we heard the story of Zacchaeus. And David's going to come help us with that right now. No? Are you doing Zacchaeus? Oh, no, that's okay. We'll do a game. I have a game for Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus was a tax collector. And do I have any volunteers that might play this game with me? I just have a couple of things. Oh, my God. I need a couple people to hold some pool noodles for me. And a couple people to play. Volunteers? Julie? Penny? Well, I need... Okay, so what we're going to do here... Cecil, come on and play this game real quick. So one of the things that the kids did was... All right. Julie, you can play. Another way that the kids learned about the different Bible stories was through games. And so this was a game that they played, and they had to get small like Zacchaeus and collect their gold, or their money. So Julie, the pool noodles are going to be low because Zacchaeus was a wee little man, and so you got not too low because she's got to be able to crawl on. And collect your So the kids had to get little like Zacchaeus. They did a little obstacle course relay. They collected their gold. They took it back to their team. They put it in and they tagged off, and the next friend had to get low and little like Zacchaeus. So that was our game for Zacchaeus' day. Could I tell a story? Yeah.
It was tough in story time on Zacchaeus' day. I'm not stealing thunder from story time, am I?
No.
Where's David go?
I think he was getting ready.
He might have gone somewhere. David Lockwood led storytelling. Do you know what job Zacchaeus had in the Bible story? He was a tax collector. You couldn't go into story time unless you got taxed. You want to take a guess what they taxed me? What they took for taxes?
Your socks.
You heard. You're telling it before I could get it. You never would have guessed that. Tax my side. I thought he was going to take my phone or my car keys. One of the boys who was in there when I was in there, I think he was a 4th grader, he got his hoodie taxed, and that was a very special hoodie. It helped us relate to it. It helped us get into it a little more. I was wondering if we'd be taxing worshipers today. You can give thanks you're not being taxed. Thank you for your generosity with Christ Church. Thank you.
All right, then on day 3, day 3 was a great day. We talked about joy and celebration, and we learned that when good things happen,
Shine Jesus light.
so not just when people don't get along,
Jesus light.
and not just when life feels dark, when good things happen. And that was the story of Jesus riding into Jerusalem. The Bible verse for that day was, "Shout with joy to the Lord, all the earth," from Psalm 100, verse 1. And we talked demonstration and help kind of tie it all up. And Mary helped us on day 3, and we're going to do that demonstration for you here today about sharing joy.
There we go. Excellent. Okay, so my job at the end, a couple of the days, was to do some kind of fun demonstration of what we were talking about for that day. So every day we were talking about shining Jesus' light. So we're talking about light a lot during BBC. So the first thing I decided I was going to do on day 3 was to have the kids try to find a light that was shining here in the sanctuary, because we can't really shine a light if we can't find the light. So first thing we got to do is find the light. So let's see. Oh, there it is. Where was it? I just saw it. Where'd it go? I just saw it. Did you see that green light? Do we see it? There it is. All right, so it was over here. There it is again. I was over there. It was over there. Where is it now? Does anybody see it? Oh, okay. So it's up there. All right, we got it up there. So it's been here, here, here. So this is really nice to be able to see this little light, but we got to figure out where it's coming from. All right, we got a light. We want to make sure that the light is something worth following, so we got to find it. So, all right, it's over here again. What are your thoughts about where this light is being shown from? Where's the light bearer? Where's the person where's the person shining the light? So who has an idea of where this light is being shown from?
It's got to be from this side.
You think it's over there? Do we see it? I don't see anybody in the balcony. Where's the light again? I lost the light. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, it's up there. Now, we don't want people who have been here already to be able to say it. I never thought of you, Penny, as really. So everybody ignore Penny, because she knows where the light's coming from. All right, I'm going to give you a few more. Okay, light bearer, we've been over here, we've been over here, we've been up there. Where haven't we been yet? That might help us figure out where the light is coming from. Have we seen the light in the back anywhere yet?
No.
Can we see the light? Oh, there it is. It is in the back. All right, so we've seen it on the sides, we've seen it in the back. Where haven't we seen it? Oh, well, now this they're making it hard. It's right there. All right, does anybody besides Penny have a guess where the light is coming from? Because we got to know the source of the light if we're going to follow it and shine it. Where does anybody have a guess to where this light is coming from?
With a flashlight.
What would you say, Dan? Well, honey, we are, but you're jumping ahead, sweet one. So, this particular light today, where is this light coming from? All right, Penny, tell them, where's it coming from? Oh, light bearer, are you back by the organ? Oh, there's the light bearer. Now, one of the things we find out is that Jesus' light, pretty neat. It's really a great thing. But one little light all by itself kind of gets lost, especially in a big room like this. So one of the things we have to learn is, once we see the light ourselves, then we want to bear the light to others. Because once we do that, instead of just one little light bouncing around the ceiling, this is what you get instead. All right, so the goal here is, we don't want just one light, just Jesus' light being hidden. We want to show Jesus' light so one light becomes many. So that was that part of the demonstration. Now, we want to talk a little bit about what Dan brought up, which is the light inside of us. So how do you demonstrate Jesus' light inside you to kids? Well, they had an idea. So we're going to assume this is each of us when we're born. We're just kind of this empty, beautiful little vase, okay, but there's not anything in here. We're just kind of born. And then, as we live, some things start happening in our lives, like, oh, I don't know, we get fed, so we have something to eat, which is always nice. We get fed. You know, people love us, hopefully our parents or grandparents, aunts and uncles, they love us. So that's really nice too. So we get filled up with some stuff, okay? So it's really kind of nice when things start filling us up. You know, okay, so that just kind of looks like not anything really exciting, but it's a person starting to be filled up in their lives. Then, as we continue to live, some really good things start happening, hopefully, to all of us. So can anybody think, when they were little or as they were growing up, what were some good things that happened in your life? Is anybody willing to share what good things happened in your life as you were growing up? Oh, we got Vacation Bible Camp. So, okay, so we got a couple nice things that happened there. That's a pretty blue color. Hard to see yet. Anything else that happened in your life? I'll share. I couldn't wait for my birthday every year. My birthday was the day, that and Christmas. Birthday and Christmas were wonderful days in my life. So those were fabulous things that I looked forward to every year.
I learned to drive a tractor.
All right, Miss Ruth learned how to drive a tractor. How old were you? 10 years old. That must have been fun. Oh, yeah, okay. So we get a couple of pretty drops for that. Which make you learn to ride an ATV. That's got to be fun too. All right, learning to drive a car was one of the highlights for me. Okay, anything else anybody wants to share?
Make friends.
You start making some friends, some people you enjoy being with, you have fun with. That's really nice too, having some friends. We like that. So let's put some pretty color in for friends. Learning how to swim is a wonderful thing. And I'm not dating you or me, Penny, but when we were kids, that was a big deal. There wasn't a whole lot of other stuff we were doing in the summer. So learning how to swim, yeah, really kind of a nice thing growing up.
I gotta say one of the biggest things and hardest things was graduating high school.
Well, that's a big thing. Graduating from school, huge. Huge, because it's not easy. Hopefully there was some fun along the way, but it's not easy. So that's
A lot of long nights.
a lot of long nights. All right, so let's see what we have so far. So here we are as a person, okay? We have a mixture of things going on in here. We got the pretty blue down here. So we got some pretty blue down here, but the little blue, our whole person. We just have the blue down here, and then look up here, it's just still really nothing. So we've had these good things that have happened, and isn't that great? And we had this layer, but we're really not showing anything to anybody else by these good things. So this is what happens and why it's important to bring Jesus' life into our life. And I'm going to show you why. Because even though these good things happen, and isn't that great, if we just keep them to ourselves, they don't really mean a whole lot. So we want to start bringing Jesus' light into our life. And when we start doing that, you know what happens? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens to this whole thing. When you bring Jesus' light into your life, then, I don't know, I'm going to hold it up, see if you can see it. It's fizzing. And everything now looks blue. And now we are a vessel that can show what Jesus' light can look like when we let it in our lives. We're sharing it with other people. So when Jesus comes into our life, we come alive. Okay.
Thanks for sharing that. The kids really enjoyed these, and again, it's just a nice way to sort of drive home that message that when good things happen. Okay, then we got to day 4. Day 4 is always the story of the crucifixion, because that's an important one to share with the kiddos. But we learned that when people are sad, so we have joy and we have sadness, but through all of that, we can shine Jesus' light. And our Bible verse for that day was, "Don't let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God." John 14:1. I saw a funny thing on this Facebook group. Every day the kids got to take home a Bible buddy that was our character of the day. And you see them big kind of around here. But it was the character of the day that was introduced to the kids and helped them remember the Bible point and the Bible verse. And on this one, the kids had carried it around so much, and the Bible verse is printed on the bottom of it, that it got rubbed off a little bit. And it said, they posted a picture of it, and it said, "Let your hearts be troubled. Trust John." So that verse doesn't work unless the whole verse is written on the bottom of it. But don't let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God. John 14:1. So that was just kind of another fun thing that got to go home with the kids each day. All right, are you doing a story time? Or not? No?
I can describe what we did.
You want to describe a little bit about day 4?
I'm just going to tell a little bit about story time. Sure.
So story time was a great way for the kids to really get the bulk of the story, right? So David did a great job with that.
Well, we had a lot of help with a lot of teen helpers and preteen helpers. And the other thing is that these kids, most of them have been here before, so they really knew the drill and what was coming and so forth. The Bible story kind of works like this. You use your imagination, and when you walk through the doors of the chapel, you go back in time 2,000 years. And in a sense, we reenact the biblical stories. The first day, we were going to Bethlehem. And they all know the Bethlehem story. Everyone. They know all the characters, they know all the animals, they know everything that happens. One thing they didn't know was that Mary walked to Bethlehem. Now, I know we have the cards that show the donkey, and they all thought the donkey, she was on a donkey to Bethlehem. But it's not in the Bible, so I insist that she walked 80 miles to get to Bethlehem. We were talking about being pregnant and walking, and I emphasized that she wasn't just a little pregnant, she was really pregnant. And did any of them know anybody who'd been really pregnant? Yes, they all knew someone who'd been really pregnant. And one person had an aunt who had just delivered a baby, and she was very excited about that. I asked, what kind of baby did she have, did your aunt have? And this child thought for a minute and said, a human baby. That was the funniest line of the week for a kid. And I couldn't figure out, was that because, with all the space themes, people were thinking of alien babies? I don't know. But anyway, she was adorable. So the second day we did Zacchaeus. The third day was all about the Palm Sunday parade. So not only did we have an excellent donkey, we had several donkeys. I think, Cecil, you were a donkey at one point. Yes, you were. We had a lot of people who were donkeys. For some reason, all the kids wanted to be a donkey and carry Jesus. So that was that. And then are reflected in the games. Sometimes you hear about the Zacchaeus story, so by the time kids came to hear about Zacchaeus, they already knew who Zacchaeus was, or at least they knew Zacchaeus was short. So that's the way that played. Yep.
So the kids go around and they get these things, these stations at different points in the day, but they go to Bible adventures, they go to games, and so they get bits and pieces of the story throughout their day. They go to art. That's one thing that we don't want to forget. Jenna always does a great job with art. She tied it all into the theme this year. She does a lot of paint and getting messy, and they made sun catchers for Shining Jesus Light and a couple of other things. And then, do you have anything you want to say? You're good? All right. And then we got to day 5, and we learned that when people need help, and so speaking about help, and I realized we forgot to do our God signing, so we'll have to do those at the end. This week we had moon craters here, and we talked about that sometimes people need help and assistance with food, and the Glens City School backpack program that operates out of our church is able to provide them a space to house all of their food for the week, and they come over weekly and pack the bags that get delivered out to the schools so that children can take home food for the weekend. So kids who rely on lunches and breakfast and snacks and things like that at school that might need a little bit of extra help on the weekends. So the kids brought in food as their offering, and you can see we did a pretty good job filling up our crater here of food to donate to the backpack program. And that program's running all summer. This is the second year in a row that they're running it all throughout the summer too. So on Wednesdays they pack bags and deliver them to the schools, and the kids can pick them up there so that they have a little bit of food, extra food to take home on the weekends. And it's made to be things that kids can manage for themselves. So there's a lot of microwavable stuff. So parents aren't, microphone's gonna go. Anyway, we learned that when Jesus needs help, and Megan's gonna come and do her. So the kids also got to go to science, and on Friday they did some. I'm gonna let her talk about it because she'll do better.
Especially gravity, and how the forces of gravity and forces in space are like God. You can't see them, but they're always with you. So, you want to hold them here. Can you make a rocket blast off? Okay. So, you can't see the air and the oxygen, but it does move within us, and it makes the rocket move. Yeah, so we had quite a little rocket. They spent a whole bunch of time just hitting each other with rockets, which is a lot of fun. And then we made some parachutes talking about gravity and air resistance and Galileo. And we went actually to the balcony in the, what do you call that room? In the fellowship hall. And we had a whole bunch of fun running up the stairs and letting down your parachute. We talked about how it catches the air and the speed of gravity, but also again, you can't see the forces that are out there keeping it up, but kind of like God. He is always with us.
So that's perfect. Thank you so much. And that leads us right into, we can do a little prayer time with our God sightings if you want. I'm just giving you a heads up because.
Yeah, I was privileged to be the leader of the preschool room. So what a joy. And so we didn't really get into the nitty-gritty of some of these scientific things, but we start at the beginning with preschoolers. We play. We spent a lot of time in this amazing rocket. We did all kinds of crafts and arts and playtime. And we learned how to shine Jesus' light when one knocked the other one over, and we had to apologize, or when we had to share toys. So as we go on, grade to grade to grade, there's different levels of learning, and I was really 5 children, so my job was really easy, and we couldn't have done it without all the teenagers' help. So it was such a joy.
So I should also say that the preschoolers don't do every single one of the stations. They do go to story time, they do go to snack time, and we can't forget that because the snack is also tied right in with the Bible verse and the Bible point of the day. But so when Julie said that she would lead it, I said, okay, there's a little bit more planning that is involved with this. So she had to plan activities for the kids to do up in her room. It's being the preschool adult is a little bit a big job because they go to the different stations, but they also have to do some entertainment of their own upstairs. So that was, I appreciate Julie doing that. And we were talking about God sightings, and Megan said, you know, the forces, the oxygen, the air, they're all around us, and we can't see them. And so and God sightings are something that we do every year. Somehow they're tied in every year. And right now, this year, you can see on our galaxies along the altar rail. And so we talk about, you know, we can't see God or Jesus like we can see Megan sitting out there. We can't see him sitting beside us, but we know he's all around, and we look for him. We call those God sightings. So we look for him throughout the day. I had written some up. I put all the teenagers, because I was just amazed that we had 17 teenagers and preteens, 6th grade through freshman in college or going on to sophomore in college, that wanted to volunteer their time to get up early and be here at 8 o'clock, 8:15 in the morning to kind of get ready for them. 17, that to me was a huge God sighting. And then they couldn't all be here every day, but it all works itself out. And on the last day, one of the teens couldn't be here, and she'd been here all week. And so one of the other teens texted me that night and said, I'm going to bring my brother tomorrow. And I was like, it's amazing how God just provides those things that we need. And I really, every year, I worry a little bit about it. You know, I start looking for volunteers, and we start saying, we need help, and we're going to do this. But I don't worry too much about it, because somehow they just come to us. You know, they're just here, and to me, that's amazing. So I put up all the teens' names on here. You want to read? And so the kids also could each week.
I just want to read some of these to you, and maybe this can lead us into our prayer time. It's not just Vacation Bible Camp prayer time, but if you have a prayer, it may not be what you call a God sighting, but a need in which we pray for God's presence to be seen and experienced. Be ready in just a bit, but I'll just walk this. God sighting of Mrs. Katie, keeping through garbage away without being asked. Music, my helpers in craft making, the kids' smiling faces, sound, birds in my yard, and Melina was being nice. Those are the God sightings on this side. I think we've got more over there.
So the kids got the opportunity to fill out a God sighting, and they could come up here. And over here we have all the youth leaders and the adult leaders. So Jenna and Matt and Dawn, Debbie. I can't forget the folks who are behind the scenes. Dawn does stuff for me in the weeks preparing for it. Debbie, I call her up and I say, how can we make a rocket? And how can we make a lunar lander? And, you know, the great thing about Debbie is she saved a broken umbrella. And it wasn't just a little bit broken, it was very broken. It would never have helped in the rain, but she had it, and we used it on our lunar lander and made a great little satellite. Let's see. Giving piggyback rides, I did see that going on a lot. Sophie and Sophia from Parker, that was their God sighting. My grandma. Hugs from the kids. And then again, just all the kids' names, all the youth leaders and the adult leaders written on here.
May I let this lead into a share prayer now? Let's be, as we have been, continue in the attitude of prayer, and we'll, as you share and join your prayers with these God sightings, our prayers with these God sightings, then we'll conclude with the Lord's Prayer. Oh God, for these children, we know you're working, who you love. For all of those we've named, grateful thanks. Part of this church and our extended ministries, we're so grateful. And have shown in us and through us and beyond us this week. We're so thankful. For the prayers we name and those left unnamed, all of these we offer to you as we follow Jesus. Hear us now as we, your congregation, Sunday morning, lift our prayers of joy, of thanksgiving, of praise, and of concern. Hear us as we pray, and please share. Thank you, O God of grace, for your many blessings, for your mercies, for your forgiveness, for your love. And thank you for your presence and your promise, for the hope that only you can give in the days that are challenging for us and for those we love. All of these prayers we lift to you, doing our best to shine Jesus' light. And we pray as he taught us, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Before I hand it back to you, may I share a little bit of offerings, which is doing a little looking ahead too. It's not Vacation Bible Camp, but I want you to know we're planning on outdoor worship next week. Pray for no rain. I'm not responsible in that department. I don't want the blame or the credit. But we pray and we hope that we'll be able to worship in the courtyard, just over here. Please bring a chair as you're able. We will have some, but not enough out there for everybody who comes. We look forward to 4 Sundays of outdoor worship insofar as we're able to have them. If it's raining, we will worship in the sanctuary. I want to offer a thank you that some Vacation Bible Camp folks are aware of, but many of us are not. Well, the big backdrop in the center was made by our own Jenna today. We're grateful for that. And I didn't mean to just single one. Every one of you people has given so much, so we are grateful for you, Jenna. Many of these pieces of art here came to us. We didn't make them. The decorations you see all up and down the halls and then the entryway, they were created by the St. Paul's Church in Saratoga Springs. We received them, free gifts, the shining Jesus light. And we go forth to offer free gifts in love and in grace and in gratitude for all we've received. These will go this week, or soon, Thursday this week, to a church in Kinderhook. They're not ours to keep. We don't want to keep them. If you made something yourself and you want to keep it, that's okay. But if you're okay sending them on so that others may use them and have a little bit of light shown in their congregation and through them, know that it's a wonderfully gracious gift and gratefully received. There's an announcement in the bulletin that I won't try to, oh no, it's not in there specifically. I want you to know there's papers with information on the table by the entrance to my left and your right about a 2-week session of preschool coming up soon. If you have a 2, 3, or 4-year-old in your family or extended family or friendship group, you might find that information helpful. We want to serve children in these 2 weeks that start later this month. And if you hold this for me, I got one more thing back there that might be Mickey Waste. Oh, yeah, you got that. So Julie, share, and I'll be right back.
Okay, hold on. So I was quite inspired by this week about shining Jesus' light, and so I brought a bushel of zucchini and squash for everyone to take one or share with someone who would like to enjoy the fruits of God's gift. Thank you.
Watch out, it's zucchini season. It is a wonderful thing at the beginning of zucchini season. They're massive, so please take one. I'll go after some if there's left. Anyway. One of those days we have the little tea lights you're part of the knitting group, we apologize and thank you for your patience with the windows covered in black cloth. So we had our tea lights in there, and we shone Jesus' light. It's not possible to thank a leader of an event like this, such as Emily, fully. So we want to offer a token of our thanks and our appreciation, Emily. So if you would come, this is a feel free to stand as you wish if you don't have to. Emily put in a ton of work. Emily's family, I'm sure you bore some of this burden as well. We're grateful for you, although I don't have a candle holder for you. Maybe some jam. I can't tell you what that's made of. I used to know, but the light shines through it. Things like that matter to me, to give as gifts, because that's what life is about. And I know Emily's not the only one doing this, and it's not all about you, but we need to say thanks. We did not say thanks to you on Friday. I caught myself afterward in not doing that, and I'd be darned if we were going to today. Many of you lead ministries in this church. You participate in ministries of this church. You support them through your prayers and your blessings and your financial giving in all sorts of ways. Whether you're a leader or not, you're shining Jesus' light in this church, and you're shining Jesus' light forth from it, outside, far away. Thanks be to God for offering our gifts in all the ways we do. Amen. All right, now it's all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I couldn't do it alone, so for all the folks, and I won't even start naming them, I make a list so that I won't forget everyone, but I wouldn't stand here and try to name everybody because like I said, there's people before, there's people during, and there's people after, and I just appreciate so much people wanting this to happen for our church because it is something that I love to do, but I'm glad that it's something that everybody else loves too for us. So, another big shout out that I am going to say is to our resident AV tech sound guy who was dubbed Magic Matt this week. A huge hand for him. We had a little sound problem on Sunday when we were testing it out, and he fixed it and got it working so it was playing. And one of the kids said to me, "How do you get these songs to just magically play?" And I said, "Well, I have a magician. His name is Matt." So we said Magic Matt. But I fly by the seat of my pants sometimes with the songs that we're going to play, or I might say, "Oh, I need this picture to be up on the big screens." And he rolls with my punches, and he figures it out, and I so appreciate that. So thank you to Matt. And he's going to operate our slideshow. We'll just do a quick show of the kids and the fun that they had this week.
We worship the God who is, we worship the God who
Penny, something that I think is super special that our church offers during Vacation Bible Camp that a lot of other churches don't, and we're so lucky and fortunate to have Penny. She does music with the kids, but not just the music and the songs that we get. She did chimes with the kids, and they got a good music instruction. Like, I feel like that's pretty special that our kids get music instruction from a real life music teacher. It's hard to just play that on Sunday morning because we don't have all the kids to stand up here and play their chimes. But they did some writing and composing, and they learned about chords and beats and tones and things that I don't even know about. But I think it's pretty impressive that we can offer that to our kids when they come here to Vacation Bible Camp. So thank you for that too. I hope I'm not missing anything else. We do. We're going to do one more song. So kind of, yep. The premise of all of this was don't hold on to that light. Let your light shine.
You guys stomp your feet like that? Now let's clap together. That's it. Keep it going. Let's sing this little light of mine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right, keep clapping now. Sounds good? Everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Yes, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, that sounds so good. That's called clapping on the backbeat. All right, sing this real quiet with me now. Even when I'm afraid, I'm gonna let it shine. Even when I'm afraid, I'm gonna let it shine. Yes, even when I'm afraid, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.